3 out of 100. That is how many retirees in America actually have $1 million in their retirement accounts. Not 30, not 15, 3. And yet, if you spend 10 minutes online, you would think every person over 60 is sitting on a 7-figure nest egg. That is not reality. That is noise. Here is what is real. The Federal Reserve tracks retirement savings across every household in this country, and the latest numbers tell a very different story. Nearly half of all American households have zero saved for retirement. Nothing in a 401k, nothing in an IRA. Zero. Among those who do have savings, the median balance is about $87,000. Not $500,000, not $1 million, $87,000. And for households between 65 and 74, people actually living in retirement right now, the median is around $200,000. So if you have been comparing yourself to some $1 million number you saw online and feeling like you are behind, stop. You are not broken. You have been measuring yourself against a number that only 3% of retirees ever reach. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which of 3 savings groups you belong to, and more importantly, the one move that matters most for your group. And the group most people guess wrong about? It is not the one with $1 million. Quick note, I am not a financial advisor or government employee. Everything here is for educational purposes only. For your specific situation, always check with a qualified professional. Now that you know the real numbers, let me show you the 3 groups and where you actually belong. Group A, the 3% Club. Group A is anyone with $1 million or more in investable retirement assets, not counting your home, not counting your car, just retirement accounts and investments you can actually draw income from. This is the 3% Club, and if you are here, you earned it. Fidelity reported a record 665,000 401k millionaires at the end of 2025. The typical one is about 59 years old. They saved for roughly 26 years straight, and they put away about 17% of their income, not for 1 year, but year after year after year. That is real discipline. But here's what surprises most people in Group A. The biggest risk is not running out of money. The biggest risk is taxes. Let me show you the math. Morningstar's current safe withdrawal rate is 3.9%. On $1 million, that gives you about $39,000 a year. Add in Social Security for a couple, roughly $38,500 a year on average, and your gross income is around $77,500. That's a solid middle-class retirement in most of the country. But here's the catch. If most of that million sits in traditional 401ks and IRAs, the IRS is your silent partner. Every dollar you pull out gets taxed as ordinary income, and it gets worse at 73. That's when required minimum distributions kick in. The government forces you to withdraw, whether you need the money or not. Those forced withdrawals can shove you into a higher tax bracket. And if your combined income crosses $218,000 as a married couple, you hit something called IRMAA. That's a Medicare surcharge. It can push your Part B premium from $203 a month all the way to $690. Let me make this real. Meet Ray and Linda from Colorado. They're 64, $1.2 million in traditional 401ks. They feel wealthy, and they should. But when they modeled what happens at 75, the picture changed. RMDs pushing large taxable withdrawals, landing in the 24% bracket, triggering IRMAA surcharges. That's thousands of dollars a year going to taxes and premiums they never planned for. Their fix? Roth conversions right now. Between retirement and age 73, there's a window where income is lower. Convert chunks of that traditional money into a Roth, pay taxes at today's lower rate, and it grows tax-free forever. No RMDs, no IRMAA surprises. If you are in Group A, your number one move is not finding better investments. It is a Roth conversion strategy before the RMD clock starts. So now you know Group A's real challenge. But the next group, Group B, is where I see the most people make the one decision that separates comfortable from tight, and it is not what you would guess. Group B, the quiet majority. Group B is $300,000 to $1 million in retirement investments, and this is where most of you watching right now actually are. If that is you, I need you to hear something clearly. You are above the median. The typical retiree who has any savings at all holds around $200,000. If you have $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, you are ahead of most people your age. You are not behind. You just feel behind because of the million-dollar noise online. Now let me run the numbers for the middle of this group. $500,000 at 3.9% gives you about $19,500 a year from your portfolio. Add Social Security for a couple, roughly $38,500. Total gross income, about $58,000. Here's what's interesting about that number. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says the average household over 65 spends about $57,800 a year. So Group B lands almost exactly at average retiree spending. You are not rich, but you are not in trouble. You are right on the line, and 3 decisions determine which side you land on. Decision 1, is your mortgage paid off? Housing eats roughly a third of the average retiree's budget. Eliminate that payment before you retire, and your $58,000 suddenly covers a lot more ground. Decision 2, when do you claim Social Security? This is the big one for Group B. Delaying from 62 to 70 increases your benefit by about 77%. For this group, that boost is the equivalent of adding tens of thousands to your portfolio, except it is guaranteed income for life. Decision 3, do you have a cash buffer? If the market drops 30% in your first 2 years of retirement and you're pulling from your portfolio to live on, you lock in those losses. That's called sequence of returns risk, and it hits Group B hardest because your portfolio is doing real work but does not have the cushion Group A has. A 1 to 2 year cash reserve in a high-yield savings account lets you ride out a bad stretch without selling low. Let me make this real. Meet Steve and Carol from Michigan, 62, $520,000 combined. They ran the numbers 2 ways. Option 1, claim Social Security at 62, keep the mortgage, start withdrawing right away. Effective annual income about $51,000. Option 2, delay Social Security to 67, pay off the house first, build a 1-year cash buffer. Effective annual income about $65,000, $14,000 more per year. Same savings, same couple, different decisions. Here's the myth. You need $1 million to retire comfortably. Here's the truth. $500,000 plus the right 3 decisions can produce more real income than a badly planned $1.2 million. Before I show you the next group, drop a comment right now. Which group are you in? A, B, or C? I read every single one and I will respond. So now you know what separates comfortable from tight. But what about people who are not close to 500,000? Maybe you're at 140,000, maybe less. That's Group C, and it's not hopeless. It just takes a different playbook. Group C is under $300,000 in retirement savings. And before you feel bad about that, remember what we covered at the top. Nearly half of American households have 0 saved. The median balance for those who have any savings is $87,000. If you have $100,000 or $150,000, you are ahead of more people than you think. But I am not going to sugarcoat the math. $150,000 at 4% is only $6,000 a year from your portfolio. Add Social Security for a single person, about $24,850. Total, roughly $30,850. That is tight. I'm not going to pretend it is not. But tight is not hopeless because Group C has 4 levers, and pulling even 2 of them changes everything. Lever 1, work a little longer. Not grind until 75. 2 to 5 more years, even part-time. 38% of older workers already worked part-time. Each year you keep working, 3 things happen at once. You add to savings, you shrink the number of years you need to fund, and your Social Security benefit grows. Lever 2, delay Social Security. Every year past full retirement age, your benefit grows about 8%. From 62 to 70, the total increase is about 77%. For Group C, Social Security is your foundation. Making it as large as possible is your single highest value move. Lever 3, simplify housing. Downsize to a smaller place, move to a lower cost area, or rent out a spare room. Housing is a third of your entire budget. Cutting it changes the math more than any investment decision ever could. Lever 4, reduce fixed monthly costs.
Every $100 a month you permanently remove is like having thousands more in savings. Cancel what you do not use. Renegotiate what you keep. This is not about sacrifice. It's about clearing the path so your money stretches further. Meet Denise from Georgia. She's 61, divorced, $140,000 in an IRA, no pension. She was terrified, but she made a plan. She pushed Social Security to 68. She picked up 20 hours a week of bookkeeping, work she enjoys. She downsized from a 3-bedroom house to a 2-bedroom rental, and she cut $380 a month in fixed costs. Here's what Denise said. Her anxiety dropped before her income even changed, because for the first time, she had a plan. The fear was never really about money. The fear was about not knowing. Your goal in Group C is not never work again at any cost. Your goal is simpler. Work becomes optional, and the pressure goes down. That's a real plan you can start building today. So now you know all 3 groups, but here's what they all have in common. It's the single question that actually determines whether your retirement works, and most people never ask it.
Your real number. Here is the question that matters. Not how much does my neighbor have, not am I a millionaire, but this, can I cover my life comfortably with what I have and what I am guaranteed? That is your real number. And here is how you find it. But first, one thing you need to understand. There is a big difference between house rich and retirement rich. For the median retiree, 59 to 73% of their entire net worth is their home. But your home does not pay your electric bill. It does not buy groceries. It does not cover a medical copay. So when you calculate your number, count only what produces income. Retirement accounts, investments, Social Security, pension if you have one, not your house. Then answer 3 questions. Question 1, what is my guaranteed income? Social Security for you and your spouse, any pension, any annuity. That is your floor, the money that shows up every month no matter what the stock market does. Question 2, what are my true fixed expenses? Housing, insurance, utilities, food, transportation, basic healthcare. That is the number you must cover every single month, no exceptions. Question 3, how much flexible fun money do I want? Travel, gifts, hobbies, grandkids, home projects. Not the life you have to live, the life you want to live. Your portfolio has one job. Fill the gap between question 1 and the total of questions 2 and 3 with a small margin for surprises. For some of you, that gap requires more than $1 million. Maybe you live in San Francisco, maybe you have expensive health needs. For others, with a paid-off home in a lower-cost state, $500,000 plus Social Security fills it completely. The number is personal. It is yours. And once you know it, you stop comparing. You start planning. Your neighbor's number is not your plan. Your number is the only one that matters. If someone you know is lying awake wondering whether they have saved enough, send them this video right now. It could help them finally breathe a little easier. And tell me in the comments, what is the first thing you are going to check? Your guaranteed income, your fixed expenses, or your fun money number? If you are building retirement income and want to stay ahead of the numbers that actually matter, subscribe to this channel. I break down everything that protects your income, one smart decision at a time. And in the next video, I will show you exactly how to turn whichever group you're in into a monthly paycheck you can count on, step by step.